I'm Terry Shepard, along with Jennifer Dornbush, with another conversation from our interview series at Bouchercon 2025. We spoke with #1 New York Times and USA Today bestselling author Allison Brennan, who is back with a riveting new case. In her latest, Don't Say a Word, the second entry in the Angel Heart investigation series, the Angel Heart family is pulled into a web of suspicion and secrecy when a promising teen dies of what appears to be a drug overdose.
The first book was You'll Never Find Me. And it was basically, it has two dual stories. One where someone was kind of hiding in plain sight, and another one of an abused woman who was running from her abusive husband. And my private investigator was helping her disappear. And so they're kind of the dual stories of really hiding and then also hiding but not. But just basically change your name. So then this, we had to, basically when you come up with the title in a series, you want it to kind of match. So I was thinking, okay, how this story is about a teenager who is found dead of a drug overdose. And he is an honors student and nobody believes he does drugs. But the police said, look, there's no evidence of foul play. It's closed case. And his mother, who is, works really hard. She doesn't have a lot of money and she is desperate to find answers what happened to her only son. And so my investigative firm takes it on pro bono, thinking it's going to be a really easy case. All we have to do is trace where this kid was the last day of his life. Was he at a party? Was it an accidental drug overdose? Just to give the mother closure, because the police said, well, he was found dead in a park. No, this is it. So they take it thinking it's going to be easy, and it ends up being anything but. And so it's really about how secrets, that you keep secrets sometimes to protect people and sometimes because you really don't know who to go to get help. And so that was kind of, so it fit with the theme of the book, and it also fit with the rhythm of the other file.
Yay! I love it.
You've done 50 of these.
I want to be Allison when I grow up.
How did you do that? How do you keep the ideas coming?
Yes.
And they're all so good.
When I first sold, it was nearly 20 years ago, I sold my first book, my first book came out in January of 2006. And I was really worried I wouldn't come up with another idea. I sold a 3-book series and I had first book done, and the other 2 books I kind of had an idea, and then we're going back to contract and they're going, oh my gosh, what if I can't think of another idea? And I said, okay, I got another idea. So I convert that book, and they're going, what if I don't think of another one? But now I have a lot of ideas and I'm wondering, am I going to be alive long enough to write all the ideas I had? And, some of the ideas, they don't pan out. As I start to work through them, I think through them, I do some research and say, this isn't strong enough to carry a book. I might shelve it, or I might write a short story, because some ideas aren't book length ideas. And other times I'm like going, oh my gosh, this is great. When can I schedule it in? Is it 5 years from now? Because I have these other books that I need to write first. But it's just basically, the writing is just sitting down and writing. I mean, a book doesn't get written because you procrastinate or go on Google, which I do all the time. Oh, I got to look up this thing. Oh, this is a good idea. I'm going to do some research there. Google is not, it's the best friend in worst enemy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of, I write every day. I do believe you have to make your writing time sacred. And when my kids were younger and at home, they went to school. So I wrote. I was very diligent when they were in school, because they come home and then they need me. And so I was very productive because I had to be. Now that my kids are all grown, I'm like going, oh, I have all day. I could do whatever I want. All of a sudden, I'm like sitting around and saying, oh my gosh, I haven't written a word. So I've had to discipline myself now that my kids are not driving my writing time. I have to discipline myself to write every single morning. And then if I can go and play and go in the pool and whatnot.
Awesome. So you don't do a full day. You're like, I need to put these many pages or no. Hours or just.
No, I write as long as I feel like writing. And sometimes I always write up until like 1 o'clock, no matter what. So I'm writing from like 7 a.m. to 1.
Okay.
And then if I'm on a roll, I just keep going.
Right.
And sometimes I'll write up until all of a sudden it's dinner time. And my 2 youngest kids, they still live at home, even though they're 21 and 22. They'll say, oh, what's for dinner? I said, I don't know. I had been writing all afternoon. I haven't thought about that. So I said, could you figure it out?
You're adults. What do your kids think about your stories and your writing? Like, have they read anything? Okay.
My youngest daughter, the 22-year-old, did read a book, Beach Reads and Deadly Deeds, because it was lighter. It was a romantic mystery, so she read that, and I think she liked that. I think she told me she did. My husband read a lot of my books, but hasn't read a lot of the new ones. He'll read. He doesn't read as much. He prefers nonfiction, but I go to him for research a lot because he's very bright and he knows a lot. He knows a little bit about a lot of things. So, like, especially things I don't know about, like what makes a car work.
Yeah.
And physics.
Yeah.
Things like that. If I say, well, can I do this? And, would this work? And he can help work through those things that I have no idea about.
You have your own personal researcher.
Exactly. And then my mom reads all my books still. In fact, she read this book. It doesn't come out until September 16th. But when I got my author copy, I gave it to her.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, I do that too.
She is her mind. Yeah, I give my mom my first copy of everything.
Yeah. And she loves them? She's your mom. She has...
She'll tell me if she does it.
Really?
There's a couple books she didn't love as much.
Okay.
I wrote one, it was called See No Evil, and it was about teenage thrill killers. And she didn't like that one as much because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
But she loved this one. She told me, she goes, oh my gosh, I stayed up so late to finish it. Then it was so good. Is your publisher going to do a lot for this book? Because it's really good. I was like, I don't know, Mom.
One of the things that's happened in the publishing industry is that they just don't have the budget anymore to promote like they used to. How have you adjusted to that?
I just keep writing and hope the readers keep coming. I mean, honestly, I am not a marketing person. So I wouldn't even know where to begin to market my own books. I have a really gorgeous webpage. I just had it redesigned. They did a terrific job. So I direct people to my webpage, and hopefully that'll help sell my books. I have a newsletter I send out monthly, but that's my core readership. It's not a huge newsletter. I mean, it's about, 14,000 people, but I've built that.
Pretty good, my friend.
I've built
A lot of us would be very happy to hit their number.
Well, after 20 years, I hope that's so that many. So I try to keep my fans, at least I let them know what I'm doing, what I'm up to, when new books come out, and I'm active on social media, but as much as I can be. My daughter says I need to do more, but it's like, I don't want to do more, It's like, I think it's a balance, and all we could do as writers is write the best book we can write, and hopefully it gets well published.
Yeah.
Do you find that the orders go up for your back catalog when a new book comes out?
I think there's a little bump. Like my earliest books, my first 6 books that I'm actually earned out my contract and making royalties off of, I do see a little bit of a bump on those every time I have a new book. And then, when I was doing a long-running series, so my Quinn and Costa series has 7th book is about to come out, and I do see a little bump in the backlist when the new book comes out. So you just hope to build on that every time you have a new book.
Yeah. Do you have a system? Because you have several series. And I've found as I get deeper into writing a series, I'm like, no, what happened in book 2? And what color was this? And what did she drive? Do you have a system for tracking that? Asking for a friend?
No, I'm out. I wish I had. Because there was, in the Lucy Kincaid series, which was 17 books, I changed the eye color of people, and I've changed so many things that I didn't realize. Not so much the main characters, because I do picture them and I know them very intimately. But the secondary characters, sometimes I forget. And I will often go back. Now that I have them all digitally, with my digital copy, it's easy to just bring them up into Apple Books and search.
Right.
So I will search to find out, did I ever say if he had a sibling? I don't remember. So I will search in the book that he first appeared, And every time his name comes up, I'll say, okay, what's it, anything about his family? No, go to the next one. So I've done that before when I does it too. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, I should have a book. You know, the funny thing is I should have a book by book.
Yes.
And I've start one and I'll say, oh, I'm going to just write down all the details of my book.
Yeah.
And after chapter 2, I forget that I even have it. I never write in it again.
I know. I have a few that I've started that way too.
Have you ever had a situation where a secondary character has become so strong that you're afraid it's going to overshadow your star?
Oh, yeah. That's happened actually many times. The first time it happened, actually, my editor told me I had to tone down the character. It was in Fear No Evil, and it was one of the first Kincaid family stories before I started the Lucy Kincaid story. And the hero was Dylan Kincaid, and he was a forensic psychiatrist. And his brother, Jack, was a mercenary. And Jack came onto the page to help find Lucy, who was missing at the time. And my editor, Charlotte Hersher at the time, Valentine, she said, Jack is acting more like the hero than Dylan. I think you need to tone him down a bit. So I actually had to rewrite scenes to make him not as prominent. I didn't tone down his character. I just took him out of some of the scenes because he was a very strong, powerful character. He ended up getting his own book down the road.
Okay. It all worked.
I do love Jack.
Yeah. I know. I love that series. I do.
Why do you keep writing?
What else would I do? I love it. I think I am blessed that I am able to do what I love. I've always written stories, and I never finished anything growing up. I would start things and then go on to the next new story. Okay. Oh, I know what's going to happen. I got to figure out another story. As soon as I figured out what happened, I couldn't finish the story. I did that as a child, and then I got married. I had kids, and then writing kind of took a back seat for a while. And I was on maternity leave with my son, my third, Brennan number 3, I call him. He's down 24. So I was on maternity leave, and I said, I was reading a bunch of books. I said, why am I not writing? And that's when I started to write again. And so it was 2001 he was born. And that's when I seriously said, I am going to finish a book. I had to finish it. And I finished 5 books before I sold. But that was the thing, is getting to the end. When I figured out what was going to happen, I couldn't say, oh, I know what's going to happen. I could do the next story. I actually said, I am going to finish this book. And I did. So, and I love it. So it's kind of flipped. What else would I do? I mean, I did have another career at one point, but I love writing and I love reading and I just love books. And I think if I wasn't writing now, I would spend time with my grandson.
Which is not a bad second option. No.
I babysit him once a week, so I get to play time.
How old is he?
2. So cute.
I love it. What? Okay, because this is so interesting. I'd love to unpack the psychology of that, but we probably don't have time right now. Like, why didn't she finish the stories? But what advice would you give to writers who are starting, like thinking back to those days where you're like, oh, how do I do this?
I think part of it when I was younger is I didn't have the life experience to finish a story. I think it's not that I couldn't finish it. It's that the next project sounded so good. And they were amateur stories. It's not that they were bad. It's just that they were kind of, childish in a way. Well, I was a teenager, writing as a teenager. But I think as you grow up, you realize your life experiences and the people you meet and you're all inform what you're doing. I got to the point I would tell people that, one, your age shouldn't matter. I think that if you are well-read and you can educate yourself and you read research books, you can write anything. I think to finish that you just need to say, no one cares if you're going to finish this book except you. You are the only one that really cares. And once you get to the point where you can say, you know what, it matters to me that I finish what I start, then you can finish it. And literally, I know people don't agree with me all the time on this. I believe in writing every day. And even if the muse is not there, do something creative to keep you in the mindset either at the same time or just a lot of people have very busy jobs or stressful jobs and they can't think about, oh, I can't write a story then. Well, if you can only write on the weekends, make the weekends your sacred writing time. And if you can only write at night, then you need to say, okay, well, this is my sacred writing time. I have to stick to it.
Yeah.
And realize that you're the only one that really cares.
Yeah.
Until you get published. Once you get published, you have other people that care whether you finish your book. So you're like your editor and your agent that gets paid when you finish. But before then, it's you. You have to have the confidence. And it's hard sometimes because the doubt demons are there.
Yeah.
Do you still have doubt demons?
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time.
What do they tell you? How do they speak to you?
I sometimes struggle with the book. Like the book that comes out in 2 weeks, I had a very hard time writing that. Part of it was the subject matter, at that teenager. I have 5 kids. It's, you think about those things. I think everybody has lost somebody to a drug overdose. And it was an emotional subject to write about. And it was also just the first book in the series came out when I was in the middle of writing it. So I was trying to promote the first book while I was trying to finish this book. And it was, then I read and write old reviews, which you're not supposed to do, but I can't help it. And then I'm thinking, okay, that is what they like. And this is what they don't like. How do I have to? And it just, I got into my head. And so it just got delayed. And it was just a struggle.
Yeah.
And then in other books, like Make It Out Alive, which comes out in January, I sat down and that just flowed. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is easy. No, it's not easy. The last book was hell. The last book took me forever to get. And the next book came easier. I won't say it's easy. It just came easier. So I think it's not because the book is good or bad. It's just your own personal, where you are personally, what's going on in your life, how the story is going, whether the characters are cooperating, whether you can see the end of the book. Because I don't plot, I will never plot.
You need a T-shirt that says that. I will never plot.
I will never.
There you go. That's the start of your merch business.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I remember, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will anyway. I had moved over to Mira, and my new editor wanted me to write a synopsis for the second book of the 2-book series. And I wrote it. It was very brief because I don't like to write a synopsis. It was mostly backstory because I'm really good at that. This is the setup of this book. This is the book I'm going to write. And by the end of the synopsis, that's where I start the story. She made me write it or rewrite it because she wanted to know who the killer was. I don't know. I gave you 3 possibilities. There's 3 suspects. Why can't I figure it out once I get there? And I swear I rewrote that synopsis. It ended up being 12 pages. I did not want to write that book. Because one, I knew who the killer was, and I would have changed it if I felt the need to. But it killed me writing that synopsis. Just killed me, and that's how I feel about plotting. It would just suck the life out of my story.
You don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to know who the killer is unless that's at the beginning, is part of the setup. Then I don't mind.
Right.
But I like to figure it out. This book, I didn't know exactly how it was all going to come together. I had kind of an idea, but I didn't. I thought somebody else was guilty. And then when I get to that part, I said, no, he couldn't have done it. And then I had to figure out who it was.
Was it that, or did it surprise you?
It partly, all his hints were there.
Okay.
They were all there, but I didn't realize it until I got to the end of the book. And then I had to reread the book to figure out, do I have to add it? Oh, no, it's all there.
You're brilliant.
I am so smart. I just don't know it.
That's a fun place for a writer to be. That's such a fun place.
It really is.
Yeah.
I get a lot of fun. Yeah.
The latest is Don't Say a Word. 50 books for our special guest, Allison Brennan. How can people find you?
Easiest place is my website, AllisonBrennan.com, AllisonBrennan. And all my social media links are on there. I am not active everywhere, but I do have a newsletter that goes out every month. I go to Facebook every day. Instagram, I post about my cat and my grandson mostly, and any new book covers.
Allison Brennan, recorded live at Bouchercon 2025 at the Outliers Writing University studios. Learn more about becoming an outlier at outlierswritinguniversity.com.